Hello and welcome to Fox Comics and Games in beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois, and we are unpacking this week's comic book order, and we will start like we always do at the start of the alphabet. We are going to be from DC, starting with Action Comics Special, Issue 1, and that's all about Lex Luthor's dark secret being revealed. Then next up we have a very exciting title that we're very excited to have. It's Alien Toilet Monsters. It's written by Carol Zara and Michael Barnett, I believe is the gentleman's name. And it's a very intriguing looking book. Really nice art, neat concept. We're very excited about having it. That's the standard cover. There's the variant. We have both of those in. Next up from Marvel, we have Astonishing X-Men issue 11. And then also from Marvel, we have Avengers number 1. And then that's one of the variants for Avengers number 1. That's kind of a virgin cover with not any writing on it. Next up from DC, we have Batman issue 46. And this is the gorgeous variant cover for Batman 46, because we do carry our variants. Next up from Image, we have Rick Remender's Black Science. Great story, wonderful art. If you're not reading it, there's something wrong with you. Next up from DC, we have issue 17 of Bombshells United. And then from Marvel, we have Captain America, issue 701. Mark Waid's writing that now, and it is really, really good. DC brings us issue 22 of Cyborg. And that's pretty wicked. And here's the very wicked Cyborg variant cover. We thought that one was pretty bad. Next one from Aftershock Comics is Dark Ark number 6. And that's a gorgeous cover on that. And then from DC, we have DC Nation, a 25-cent comic, which has 3 all-new stories in it. So we thought that was kind of neat, and we thought we would try that out. That's what the variants of DC Nation looks like. That's issue 0. The next one is one that Mr. Fox is eagerly awaiting, almost as much as Alien Toilet Monsters, and that is Rick Remender's Image release, Death or Glory. It's a gorgeous looking book. Looks to be a great story, as Rick Remender always writes a great story. Unless you follow him on Twitter. I'm not always a big fan of his Twitter account, but I do like his books. But that's the Death and Glory standard cover. There's the Death and Glory variant. And here's another Death or Glory variant. And that's just gorgeous. That's cover of the week right there, folks. The voting's over. Sorry, Alien Toilet Monsters. That is cover of the week. Although Alien Toilet Monsters are a close second. Next up from DC, we have Deathstroke, issue 31, still continuing the Deathstroke versus Batman theory, and a gorgeous variant cover for that, issue 31 of Deathstroke. Then we have from Dark Horse Comics, Dr. Starr in the Kingdom of Lost Tomorrows, and that's Jeff Lemire, because he only writes 500 comics a week. Guy hardly does anything. But that's an interesting side note to the world of Black Hammer. So if you read Black Hammer, you'll enjoy that. Next up from Image, also a lovely piece of work, Jonathan Hickman's East of West, issue 37. If you're not reading that, you need to. Then up from DC, we have Snagglepuss, exit stage left even, and that's issue 5. And then runner-up for cover of the week was Snagglepuss, issue 5, exit stage left even. The variant for Snagglepuss is phenomenal. And it kind of looks like the sweet potato president. He's even the same color as Mr. Trump, so that's kind of fits. Next up from Boom Studios, we have issue 9 of Saban's Go-Go Power Rangers, part of the Shattered Grid, and that is really kicking tail right now. So if you're reading Power Rangers, you're happy. Next up from DC, we have Green Arrow issue 40, and that's issue 40, and that's issue 40's variant cover. Very pretty and very colorful variant cover. Next up from DC, we have Green Lanterns, And then a very nice Green Lanterns variant cover, also available. And then we have Harbinger Wars 2, issue 2. No, this is issue 1, I'm sorry. And that's the pre-order edition cover. Next up from DC, we have Harley Quinn, Harley Loves Joker, issue 1, and that's going to be a 2-part series. And then that's the variant cover. And let me see. Ooh, this is going to be highly anticipated. Up from Marvel next is The Hunt for Wolverine, Weapon Lost, issue 1. And that's going to probably be a very, very big title here at Fox's. Also from Marvel is Infinity Countdown, issue 3. People are really beginning to enjoy that now that they've seen the movie. DC Comics offers up Injustice 2, issue 25, and that's a gorgeous cover with Wonder Woman on the front. Mr. Fox is a big fan of the Wonder Woman, so much so that he married her. Next up from Dark Horse Comics, we have issue 5 of Koshai, the Deathless, and that is a 6-part series, so that's second to the last one, and that's a Mike Mignola book. Really cool art in it. Next up from DC, we have Nightwing, issue 44. And that's part 1 of the Bleeding Edge. And then there's Nightwing, the gorgeous variant cover. Very, very nice. Next up from Marvel, we have Rise of the Black Panther, issue number 5. Also from Marvel, we have Rogue and Gambit, issue 5. And then from Image Publishing, and they have their logo right on this cheesy computer, they have Sex Criminals, issue 24. And I think it's subtitled, Would You Like Some Help With That? And so that's kind of funny. Then next up from Dynamite Publishing, we have Sherlock Holmes, The Vanishing Man, issue 1. That will be highly read here at Fox's. As will S.H.I.E.L.D., The Rebirth. This is a Jonathan Hickman run at Marvel, and so that promises to be breathtakingly wonderful. Next up from Image, we have issue 285 of Spawn, and it does clean up all the unanswered questions from the 284 issues in front of that. So that's a very pivotal issue to get. And then next up from Marvel, we have issue 240 of Spider-Man. This is Brian Michael Bendis' last run with Marvel before he writes exclusively for DC. And it's entitled Farewell to Miles. We hope that isn't saying goodbye to Miles Morales. America can use a little brown Mexican Spider-Man, trust me. Marvel, issue 31 of Spider-Man vs. Deadpool. That is what you think it is. Next up, we have from IDW, Star Trek The Next Generation, Through the Mirror. I think which is the follow-up to Broken Mirror, if I'm not mistaken. And then from Marvel, we have Star Wars, issue 47. I think that Captain Kirk is in that, if I remember correctly. So that ought to be pretty popular. And then next up, we have another one from Marvel, another Star Wars title called Tad and Bink Were Here. And I think that's got that Mr. Spock in it. So that ought to be pretty good. Then next up from Avatar Publishing. This is huge in our store. If you're not reading this, you should. Kieran Gillen's Uber Invasion, issue 13. And that's the standard cover, which are always beautiful. And then that's what they call the propaganda cover, and those are even more beautiful. Kieran Gillen's a great writer. You need to read some of his stuff. I think you'll really enjoy it. Next up from Marvel, we have issue 5 of Venomized. And that seems to really be taking off. I think with the upcoming Venom movie, people are excited about that. And then we have from Image Publishing, The Walking Dead, New World Order. And this is the 5th of the 6-part miniseries, New World Order. So there's one more of those left. And then next up, we have The Walking Dead, Carl. And that's the Carl variant cover for issue 179. And then next up from Marvel, we have Weapon X, issue 17, Greg Pak. And then from Marvel, we have X-Men Gold, issue 27. And then I believe this is Image. No, this is Dark Horse. Dark Horse, Frank Miller's Xerxes, The Fall of the House of Darius and the Rise of Alexander. And then last up, we have You Are Deadpool, #1. And I think that's kind of self-explanatory. You put your face here, and then you are Deadpool. So that plus a bunch of trade paperbacks, a lot of Reborn, and some Deadpool coloring books, and a lot of Rebels trade paperbacks, and some more Image trade paperbacks, all in this week. Also this Saturday will be free comic book day at Fox's. That's Saturday, May 5th. We open at 10 a.m. and we will be doing it big and right. So we hope to see you here. Have a great day.